Welcome to Tube Talk, where I'll be interviewing either virtually or in person content creators in the hope to learn more about the people that we subscribe to and we follow on YouTube. So my next guests are a husband and wife that travel around Australia, ride bikes, trek, kayak, climb mountains, you name it, they do it. He comes from an IT background, she comes from a marketing background. Meet Dave and Michele from Explore Oz. Michele, David, welcome to Tube Talk. And
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul. Give me some of your time.
You're more than welcome.
So, as I promised, Michele, I'm going to go back a little bit of time because you and I have actually spoken on the phone, and you don't remember, which is awesome.
What are you going to say?
I want to try and put how we ended up into some kind of context. I stumbled across your channel doing some research on Shelter Bay. So in about 6 months, myself and some friends are going to Shelter Bay. And I stumbled across your channel on Shelter Bay and ended up going down rabbit warrens and stumbled across your mapping product, which I'm hoping you're going to explain a little bit more to us today. Yep. And I stumbled across your phone number on the website. and all this at the same time, I'm trying to make a decision on whether or not I invest in HEMA maps. I was getting frustrated due to one reason or another, due to different mapping platforms. And what I found is when you actually land on a map and you magnify it, it magnifies the map, but it doesn't actually give you more detail.
Yeah.
It's a raster map.
In the track.
Blurry and pixelated.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So I rang you and I said, well, I'm conflicted. What makes your product better than the ones that I'm looking at? And I gave you a story about when myself and some mates went fishing east of Augusta, and I sent you a screenshot.
Yes, I know. I remember this conversation now.
So that's how we very first met. Now, since then, I used the word stalking before. That's not the correct terminology. However, what I've done is I've ended up going down this rabbit warren of your website, and I've explored a couple of your products, and I feel like I've walked into Aladdin's cave. Anyway, so
hopefully there's jewels in the cave.
So thank you for giving me some of your time.
You're
What I'd
welcome.
love to do is to get to know the people behind the business. And when I started this little hobby 18 months ago, I've met some amazing people. So I've got some questions here to get to know you guys a little bit more. So if I've got license, I'll launch straight in.
Fire ahead.
So in my little bit of research, I understand you guys are from the East Coast, in Sydney, in fact.
Yeah, long time ago though.
98 was our 97, 98 was when we left Sydney.
And you moved. So what year did you move to Perth?
2000.
2000.
For 2.5 years we were travelling.
Travelling around Australia.
Yep.
In our troopy with a trailer and scuba diving equipment, because we were going to teach people how to scuba dive on our trip around Australia. That was serious. We were scuba diving instructors, and that was seriously what our intent was. So we had all this gear in a camper trailer. Not a camper trailer, just a luggage trailer.
It was a butterfly.
Behind the troopy, which was a pop-top convertible troopy. And we went, and I don't think we used our diving equipment more than a couple of times in the whole journey. We taught no one how to dive, and we had a great time four-wheel driving. And so we travelled for a couple of years, and we ended up...
Why Perth though?
Well, it's a good story. It's a great story.
I'll tell you why.
Oh, go on then.
Well, this is my reasoning why. So we travelled around Australia from the East Coast going north, Cape York, across the Gulf, Darwin and all of that. As we've come across the Victoria Highway and into WA, where you cross the border there.
Kununurra Way.
Yeah, we started meeting head-on people with WA plates. And honestly, every single person we met was just salt of the earth, the most awesome fun people, really nice. And I'm going, okay, there's something about these nice WA people. Then this pattern kept continuing, and then we went on a little bit further when you've made it all the way over to Broome and to the coast, and then we start coming down and we're going, hang on a minute, this coast is drop dead gorgeous. Where's the buildings? Where's the people? Where's the roads? Where's the... Like, you would expect something like the Gold Coast. And honestly, I'd never been to WA. And
so your first time was after you left Sydney?
Yep.
The first time them coming down here would have been
So it's
Christmas time,
1998.
98, coming
No.
into
And
99.
Yeah.
Is that the same as you, Dave? That was your first time in WA?
No, I'd been to WA. I've been to Perth a few times, but only for work. So only to the city, you know, and go out to a few computer customers, then get back on the plane and go back to Sydney, sort of thing.
Okay, so in summary, the reason what attracted you to Perth, Western Australia, is the people
The people
and our coastline.
And the place.
and the coastline.
Okay, cool.
And it's not just the natural scenery of the coastline, it's the fact that it was
Less
quiet,
populated.
less populated,
Yep.
that it had so much beauty,
Yep.
yet the things that we left Sydney for, the chaos, and you had to pay for parking at your local beach and all that crap.
Yeah,
Perth and the whole WA doesn't have that.
that's growing up.
Yeah.
All right. So, how did you two guys meet each other? Now, I've listened to a few of your podcasts. I've read some notes, but I couldn't find where or how you guys actually met.
Just friends of friends, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
through
it was
work friends.
Through work friends.
So you didn't work together.
No. But we were friends first, and it took a couple of years until things changed.
Until he wore you down.
Actually,
I'm trying to work out who wore who down, but yeah, no, we'll take it either way.
But we were massively.
But we were corporate IT. I was corporate IT. Michelle was, in
Marketing.
Yellow Pages, marketing and doing.
Okay, so that's your corporate background is marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I used to be working for Yellow
Ad
Pages
production.
Australia, and I was
Back
the
in the day, the old Yellow Pages.
I
Yeah.
worked in the pre-press, not the sales, and I was the ad makeup manager.
Right.
So that I managed a floor of staff, and their job was to input bits of paper from the sales office and turn it into a
ads.
graphic ad that got printed in the book. And I was there as a change manager early on.
Change manager, gotta love that.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, so I've done all the corporate stuff. I've done
Got a few
change
scars.
management of
Yeah,
IT
got
and all
scars.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
and your professional background is IT, and we're going to touch on that because I think, have I got this right, that you built that website?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Every line of code. Yes.
Every line of you've done that.
Yes. And
You're
the app.
expecting a propeller on that hat. You said you're gonna give-
I do have it. I do have.
give me a hat.
You want a propeller hat.
There's not a propeller. There's no propeller on that hat. I should buy a propeller hat because I use that
There you go.
expression
You're
so many
sitting there
times.
in the sun.
Even like talking yesterday, I'm just the penultimate sit in the corner and spin the propeller. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
So when I met David, do you remember what I
remember
called
the
you?
first night. The
I
first night
called
I
you.
met her, yeah.
Hang on. I called you a nerd with
a
personality.
Yep.
I'd never met such a nerd, but I'd never met a nerd with an
Nerd with
actual personality.
personality.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh. It's really good fun to be with.
Yeah.
Until I'm grumpy, and then I'm.
Oh yeah,
then
then,
you're not.
then you're not.
I'm like most people,
Us blokes are like that.
Yeah, when you get grumpy, it's not good.
All right. So you guys are full-time travellers, and as we're going to learn, you've been travelling for 24 years. I thought it was 25, but okay, we'll take 24.
Or see, we're not really full-time travellers 24 years. We unfortunately do have a home, and we do have
We
a
unfortunately
business that
have a
works in the home. And it's full-time working on the travel concept. And whilst we travel a lot, we've always been coming back home.
Yep.
But we are only now entering a stage where our kids have just flown the coop, early 20s they are. We've got two young kids, one's 20, one's 23. And we'll let that noise go. Yeah.
Cut that out.
So we're now in a position where we feel we've got through that stage. We've raised them. We can go and take our work on road with us, but we needed technology to catch up with us as well. So things like Starlink, we didn't have that before. So
You didn't have that probably 5 years ago.
yeah, that made it really hard to work.
Yeah.
So the immediacy and the demands of customer service, and because we do all aspects of the
And you
business.
ring people back.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Fact.
I love talking to people. It is so much easier for me to help a
You
customer.
weren't grumpy that day.
Oh, I was a bit confused by what you were wanting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm saying that script. We
I remember it.
We're going off topic, but what I was chasing was why, if I'm going to buy a map system and I want to go down a track,
Yep.
I want a map that's going to show me the track.
Yeah, exactly.
But there are so many tracks. Clearly, you can't find. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
So, and I clearly know the answer to this, but
Oh.
other people would be interested to know.
I hope we give you the same answer.
I hope so, but I haven't actually told anyone yet. My wife, I told her this morning. What was the moment, or what made you decide, that's it, we're leaving Sydney, we're going to go and travel?
Oh, Dave,
Do you want me
that's
to
your
do that
story.
one? That's
Yeah.
my story, isn't
That's
it?
your story.
Yay!
It's David's story to
Finally.
tell.
All right. Basically, we'd spent the
short version,
year and a half travelling around the country, and we were publishing a personal website, being an IT nerd, being a journo type. I was already involved in the web and the internet through work and stuff like that, so I was fairly intimate with it. And this was before Google and before all this stuff, so it was really early on. We had this very basic website set up, which was really to interact with our family and friends.
It was called Coast.
No, our first website was called Beach and Beyond.
Beach and Beyond, I was close.
Beach and Beyond, yeah, Beach and Beyond. And it was all to do with our scuba diving, which was the beach, and beyond being the travel. And that's why we set that up. And so after about a year and a half of that, we started fielding so many inquiries through the website and email. We were getting emails from like 100 people a week. We were getting 10,000 to 20,000 visitors on the website a month.
Yeah.
You know, so we were sitting at Inaminka on the Cooper Creek there and drinking too much one day. We'd been out driving the day, and there's a few reasons how all this comes about, but I saw a number plate that was like a mining, exploring group, you know, someone that would be travelling around looking for oil and gas and that sort of stuff.
We actually are on two different trains of thought.
Yes, okay. Because I know
this is where the business name came from. So
that wasn't the question.
Oh, okay.
Keep going with your story, it's fine.
What? The straw that broke the camel's back, and he said, that's it, we're doing this.
Yeah, why we left Sydney.
Why you left Sydney, what was it? Something happened in your life.
Yeah, your story.
Oh, my story. That story.
That story.
The story before the story. The story before the story.
I mean, look, it's a pretty pivotal moment in someone's life.
It is.
When you have a cancer problem, yes.
I rest my case.
Yes, it does change one's thought processes and stuff. Yes, so it wasn't we were. Yes, it changes everything. So that eventuated.
You had the car packed.
So not quite. So what actually happened was David got the cancer scare, and that's what made us consider, let's just leave everything, let's sell up. And David had long service leave where he worked, and so we'd worked towards this as a sort of a goal. But the car being packed was every day for 3 weeks, where he was going and having treatment daily while we were still packed, and we were ready to go, and it was just get to that last appointment. On the last one we drove out, all hooked up, trailer and the lot.
Yeah, basically we'd go to radiotherapy, I'd come home and then I'd be tinkering with the camper and tinkering with the car, and then I'd go to radiotherapy and come back and tinker with the car, and then on the very last day, at the last appointment, we actually took the car and the trailer to the hospital, did the radio, and then whoom, straight to Cairns.
You know, can I ask you guys to have a look at a content creator called Old Mate Adventures, Jed and Kelly.
Okay.
I interviewed those guys virtually. They've got a cancer story that I get goosebumps now. They're an amazing pair of humans. So it's I guess we're in transitioning into retirement, myself and my wife, because what's the old adage? You're a long time dead and you've only got one shot at this.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So that certainly changed a lot of stuff. Yes. So that was the leave Sydney thing. Absolutely, that was the get out of there card.
But it's also been part of the reason why David particularly has always said, with this business, we don't want to grow and be a massive business, because the reason that he didn't just have cancer, he had quite a lot of other little things, and he's continued to have quite a lot of other little health issues that not a lot of people would realise, because what people see on the outside is all our achievements, and they say, oh, we got really involved in triathlon, oh, you know, we can do all this sport and all this stuff. But David actually does carry quite a lot of little issues that come up and bite him, and the stress is a thing. Like, David works really, really hard, and I think to have the sort of IT brain that you have, it must actually make you sick inside. It doesn't switch off. He's Mr. Busy, never stops. So I can't actually take him to a beach. We go camping, we've got the most perfect setup. Oh no, like Ningaloo, we could not sit there and just do nothing and enjoy or drink.
I can relate to that though.
What does he do? Oh, we must take a boat and I must go fishing, and he won't come in until he's got the biggest fish.
I wonder how long it takes us to walk up that cliff.
Yeah, something.
Oh yeah, all of that.
Always moving.
Isn't your name Can't Sit Still or something? Won't sit still?
Won't sit still.
I told David this.
Won't stand still.
Oh, won't stand still.
I thought you guys will get on. You're similar.
right, so you left Sydney and you come to Perth. You told me that Western Australia and Perth has become your home because you love the friendly people and you love our coastline. So is it fair to say that now that you've travelled Australia probably, I don't know, how many times have you travelled around Australia?
Enough.
and all these places that you've lived, do you have a favourite state? Is it still Western Australia?
So this has come up in this current phase of travelling full time, which we've been doing for the last 5 months now, right? Yeah. And we're on a big around Australia tour, and we've got that all mapped out. We need to spend a lot more time over east because we have spent a lot of time in WA and NT. But we've decided after spending the last nearly 3 months in Tasmania. Yep, there's 2 best states in Australia, WA and Tasmania. Massive extremes, but Tasmania has what WA doesn't have. Rainforest and massive mountains that you can climb. And honestly, when you're touring in Tasmania, every 10 minutes, your head is swiveling and going, you don't have to plan, you can go anywhere. Whereas Western Australia is quite the opposite. It's vast, and you've got to travel long distances to find destinations. Oh yeah, but I love both. Very raw, very different, beautiful, but lots of free camps and great
Their
for outdoors
infrastructure
life.
and government and all of that is really quite different in how a lot of stuff is managed. Tasmania has some really open, camping's easy, travelling's easy. Shopping's not so easy because there's not that many places to go shopping.
I don't know about that. That's something I'm hearing and people have suggested to us.
You have to get a permit, I'm sure.
I think you have to have a permit for everything in Tasmania. That's what everyone keeps telling us.
All right, so favourite states, WA Tasmania, equal.
Yep.
Same.
Yep.
Close.
WA first.
We will still live in WA.
60-40.
Yeah, there you go.
There's nowhere better to live. I love the climate.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't like over east. It's humid.
There for travelling would be.
Yeah.
So you must have stopped and seen and explored so many locations around Australia.
Yeah.
Is there one, like you just did, like you said, now there's 2. I'm okay, I'll cut you some slack if you want to give me 2. There's got to be 1 or 2 locations that you go, breathtaking. This location is the best place.
So we travelled around Australia for 2 years non-stop in the just before we started Explorers, 98, 99. And at the end of that 2 years, if you asked us that question, there were 3. There was Lucky Bay down at the south of WA, Esperance Way, Augusta Way, right? Lucky Bay, and we all know that is awesome.
Yeah.
At the top of WA, almost at Cape Leveque. And you've got to remember not what it is now, what it was then, in 1999. There was that one because of the beautiful red Pindon sand and the contrast with that beautiful azure blue water. That's why our logo is this colour, by the way, because of that love of the orange contrasting with the blue. And then the third one, I'm speechless at the moment. The motorbike's taken the brain away.
Third spot.
Jeez, have you forgotten?
I've forgotten.
I don't even know.
I remember. In Queensland, Lawn Hill National Park.
Oh yeah, Lawn Hill was pretty special.
So an interior national park in Lawn Hill, Queensland, in the northern end, just below the Gulf, right? And it is a beautiful gorge with big cliffs, bull dust roads to get in there, and then you can just swim and kayak. There's no crocodiles. It was all safe, and lots of rainforest.
Mountain bike and road bikes and bikes.
We can't sit still.
No, good name for a YouTube channel.
It's great.
A good name for a YouTube channel.
All right, so that was what you said. That was then.
Yeah.
Still now.
Now, with a lot more travel over the years.
You can scratch off Cape Leveque. You can probably scratch off Lawn Hill.
Your 2 most resonates, it's scarred, it's etched in your memory, location. When someone says to you over a glass of wine or a beer.
I think it's unfair. I think now we've seen so much, the lines have blurred. The biggest thing is what's beautiful one day is usually beautiful because of the conditions.
Yeah.
The weather's perfect. You've been there at the right time. Yeah. It's not school holidays because the next person will go there and they've got the timing wrong and they'll go, why did you say that was a good place? It's crap.
The holidays are on and there's a million people.
So
and
it's luck of the draw.
It is luck of the draw. And look, to be honest with you, we've been to some places.
Lucky Bay straight off the bat.
Oh yeah.
Lucky Bay can always win. Lucky Bay always wins at Guernsey.
first place I've ever seen that you could have a kangaroo on the beach, right? But with the blue water in the background and white sand.
Yeah.
You can now do that other places that I've been,
Yeah.
you know. So that was the first time I saw that, and that's why it hit that. So I think your first time seeing something really significant
say
in your head.
Honestly, it is almost impossible. I mean, we've just been to Cradle Valley and Cradle Mountain, and that was unbelievable.
Yeah, and Bay of Fires in
spectacular and
Tasmania.
and so
it's
there's
right
all these areas that we've just been. It's like, oh, this could be, you know, one of the best places we've been. But there isn't really a best, because, as you say, we'll go to the next place and it'll be as good or good, you know.
All
So-
right.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right?
I'll tell you
Yeah.
the best hike, and the reason that's the best hike was because of the views and the location.
Go.
And we were talking about it yesterday, Cape Rowell.
Yeah. Cape
It's
Rowell,
on the
in
Tasman
Tasmania.
Peninsula,
Tasman Peninsula,
in
yeah.
Tasmania. It's a 16-kilometre long hike,
Yep.
and the whole way along this hike, it is jaw-dropping, beautiful coastline, and you're up
Yep.
quite high, and there's rugged cliffs, beautiful blue water, and this amazing headland that you can see looming that you're coming to, and it just looks a long way away, and it is. And you
The
go
walk
down,
out to
you gotta
Cape
come back
Rowell
up.
would have to be one of the best places that we've walked, yes, ever, yes.
So we'll put that up.
Put that, okay.
Put that one on.
Really curious to know a bit more about your business. And
Okay.
I guess, as I sort of mentioned when we sat down, I stumbled across your website that I've learnt, Dave, that you built.
Yep,
The website that Dave built.
yep.
And
The app that I built, the maps that I built.
and what I identified is that it was like Aladdin's cave and like a rabbit warren, right? And there's all these different products, for the want of a better word, if you like. So, what inspired? Actually, no, I already know the answer to that. What inspired you guys to actually start the business, so to speak, not just do the travelling? What inspired you to start an online shop? You know, start some revenue streams. What inspired that? Was there one or two, or collectively, what inspired you guys to start the business?
Well, as I was alluding to earlier, you know, we were travelling around, and to start the business was this influx of people wanting to ask questions and stuff of us while we were travelling in our first few years. So we sat on the banks of the Cooper River there, and we had this discussion and said, oh, we should start a business out of this. And then it became a monetisation factor. How are we going to generate? How are we going to?
'Cause it's
How are
very
we
time
going to do it as a
intensive.
business? How can
Yeah.
we make this a business?
Absolutely.
In the year 2000.
In the year 2000, Google didn't exist. All this stuff didn't exist. The internet was so early, but we
social
were
media.
already into it, and we'd already seen the power of it by having these people want to interact with us. So we knew that was an opportunity. One of the things, our original business model and the whole thing and how we really started all this was really to try and bring the outback to the cities, so that people could find out about where to go and what to do and all that great stuff, and all the people that they're going to meet and all the businesses they're going to go to out in the bush.
We were
That
in
was our
Birdsville
business
for a
plan.
number of months.
Yeah.
We ended up settling there. We were there for 6 months. So we had a 6 degrees of separation with people David knew, and we ended up sort of living in there, and the town gave us a house to live in.
Oh, wow.
We didn't pay any rent or anything. And it wasn't just an everyday house, it was the old Padre at the back of the hospital. It was a historical place to live in. It was convenient and unique. And we worked for David Brooks, and we worked for,
Theo? Theo was the
Theo who
server.
ran
there's a whole heap of people
the
who worked, but this
Roadhouse,
is all back
and
then.
Don Rowlands, who's the Queensland National Parks Ranger and still is, and he's around. And the jobs that we were doing were just bringing city skills like IT and marketing and computer know-how to fledgling up-and-coming business operators on station properties or in a remote town, and they just weren't quite sure how to do it. So in the Birdsville Hotel, Kim Fort had all these computers to change over their cash register at the bar, you know, where you press, oh, that person wants a beer. They'd gone from old, you know, handing cash and figuring it out to have touch screen things. Same with Theo, he had computerised cash registers, and they'd sat there for months because he's, I don't know how to install it, what to do, it's all too hard. How do I keep my business running while I install this? So very quickly people realised David had the nous to do that. Yeah, sure, we'll do that for you, no problem. And then as word went around the town, eventually we'd get contacted. Would you do this for us? Would you do that for us? We ended up, helping someone's business get started on MYOB. I did everything.
So I want to come back to what inspired you to start the business.
Okay.
It's going to be really hard to articulate this answer.
Yeah, but I do recall that they said what we really want as an outback town is for the word to get out to the tourists that we can offer services to support them. We've got a store, we've got fuel, so please don't buy from Woolworths at home, 3 months worth of food. Just buy enough to get here, and then when you come, support the town. So I know that's common sense now. We know that as Australian travellers, that's something we like to do when we travel, is support the local business.
And a lot more travel actually promote that.
Yeah.
And a lot more people are travelling.
So
So there wasn't that many people travelling at the level that we were travelling.
And to get the word out.
Really
So let's
outback
try
stuff. So they wanted. So the people out in the bush, they wanted us to promote them.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm trying to articulate in one sentence. And maybe, you know what, we might not be able to do it.
Yeah.
So what inspired you? You seem like very authentic people, and you've got some skills that other people appreciated, and you to apply your authentic skills to an environment where people could benefit from, and it's okay to charge for your intellectual property. And that's cutting straight to a chase.
Yep.
Because, again, if I can go off on a tangent, then I want to come back.
Yep.
Something I said to my wife this morning, the people I'm going to catch up with today, what they've done, I think, and this might be very crude, snapshot, is you've actually created an online virtual information centre for Australia.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that?
That's exactly. We used to have a
exactly
sticker that
exactly
said it was
what
an
we've
online
done.
travel guide.
Yeah.
That was our
Instead of
very
going into
first
a
sticker.
town and going to the information centre.
Yeah.
You can just go onto the website
just
or
go
the
onto
app and
Explore Oz
find the
Yeah.
info.
And we're, all right. Okay, let's go to, when we sat down, we identified you guys come from a corporate background, and it's with full disclosure, I haven't got a very good memory, so I've got questions written down here. So
That's all good.
So I come from not a corporate background, but there's a phrase, and that is, give me an elevator's pitch on your business, right? And what that means is, if you get an elevator, you've got 3 or 4 floors to tell the bloke standing next to you what you do for a crust or what your business is. So this is going to be a challenge, I think, because we all like a chat.
This part we can do.
This part we can do.
Okay, this part we can do. So,
We've refined it over the last few years.
Okay, so your elevator's pitch for Tracker.
Ooh.
Tell me about Tracker. An elevator's pitch.
Okay.
What is Tracker about?
So, Tracker is an online repository of your recorded tracking route of where you've been travelling. So, we host it online as a map and the facility for people to be able to view it. When the Tracker app is a free download, but you need to have purchased your Explore Oz membership to be able to use that feature. So, user pays.
So it's like a
Basically,
diary of travels.
a daily. Everywhere that you take that device and the app is running, it's recorded, and then you can add photos and status posts, and you can communicate. And it all publishes on the internet, and it produces a map so your family and friends can follow your journey and all of that sort of stuff.
Okay, like it. What about an elevator's pitch for Traveller?
Okay, so we're a mapping publisher number 1, and
Now.
to deliver those maps through technology on a phone, on a tablet, whatever, you actually have to have an app that supports the map files. We create a new map set each year, and so that's our saleable product. You buy the app, the software, one time for life, and it gets updated with new tools and features and improvements, but it is the tool that enables you to view the offline map. Our product is
Yeah,
EO
but it's
Topo.
also not just the online map. Explore Oz Traveller is the integration of everything we've ever done.
Yes.
All of the information that we've gleaned and captured for 22 years.
Treks,
all our
places.
places, treks, track logs, all the content that we've gleaned has all been bundled into the one product with the maps.
And offline.
So you're
So instead of
basically
using
taking
what
the
was a
entire
website,
you take the whole website in Traveller.
Okay, so is WikiCamps offline?
a lot of it isn't these days. So if you're offline and you open a place that you haven't opened before, you can't read the reviews and you can't see the photos. In Explore Oz Traveller, if you
It's
do
all
the same thing, when you're offline, you can see the reviews and you can see the photos.
And the text that we've
And the text and the
curated.
information.
So there's a bit of a difference
and the
between
offline
the
maps.
curated
So
text as well.
WikiCamps isn't a map publisher.
Yes.
You can see maps, but as people would realise, if you compare the two maps, they're vastly different.
So I'm driving up the highway
Yeah.
and I want to camp somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to go to Wikicamp and
Explore Oz Traveller.
Explore Oz Traveller to find out the camping spot.
Yep.
Yep.
And whether it's free or whatever the
Yep.
case may be.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, here's a big one.
But you don't have to go to Wikicamps. You can do it all with Explorer.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly right. So it's a bit like the HEMA maps, which is, I think, is leading into my next and the last one.
Yep.
And I'm going to get this pronunciation wrong, so you have licence to... You can't throw anything at me right. So I go back when we first spoke, and I'm not the only person that wants to go and camp somewhere remotely.
Yeah, yeah.
So we go looking for HEMA maps and all that sort of stuff. You guys have got this product called EO Topo.
Yep.
Yep.
Did I say that right?
Yep,
Yep.
you did.
Okay, elevator's pitch on EO Topo.
Okay, so
Versus
topo
HEMA.
is short for topographic. And a topographic
How
map...
are we supposed to know that?
Well,
We should put that in brackets.
topo maps.
So you dummies, this is what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, and EO stands for Explore
Oz.
Oz. So EO, topo.
Acronym's a big thing these
Don't you
days.
love it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It is actually our map product. So it is the culmination of all of our collection of data over the years. It's a combination again of all the places and POI data, and we produce that map 1 to 2 times per year as our full mapping product.
But the biggest difference between the competitor that you mentioned is that we use vector mapping, which means as you zoom in,
Well, I think they
more
do too now.
detail reveals, and we go right into Topo 2K. Now, about 10, 15
That's
years
a map
ago,
scale.
the government Geoscience were releasing a product that everyone loved as a benchmark of mapping for four-wheel drive travellers, and everyone has been doing it for a while will remember.
Map raster.
Yeah, and it was Topo 250K. So 250 versus 2.
250,000 versus 2,000 is the difference.
But
in
the number.
So we're like 100 times better resolution than we were.
So the smaller the number, the more
back in the day.
detailed.
understand.
Okay, so 2 versus 250. Yep.
So it's basically a combination of everything we've ever done in terms of that, and then produced in a map.
But you
Just
have
like
to
your
be.
Google Maps and your other maps that you look on your
Yeah.
phone, it's the map. So it's the actual base map data that's got the parks, it's got the roads, it's got the green here, and it's got the water there.
It
And
might not have a laneway down there because...
It does.
It does.
Actually,
We
when
have
we
city
came
streets.
here,
We have
I had
100%.
all these
we have
side
city streets as one of our biggest updates.
car parks.
Thanks for that. It gives me a better understanding for what it's worth. One last question on the business before I ask the next question. For the layman,
Yeah.
the cost to subscribe or to be a member
Yep.
is how much a year?
No,
To
hang on.
subscribe and be a member is one thing. There's
It's totally different to the you.
I know
If
that.
you're a member,
I
yeah.
understand
no,
that.
hang on,
Okay.
he's asking for membership.
So if I want to become a member of Explore Oz,
Yep.
Right. If you
Annual
don't,
subscription?
if you don't own the Traveller app, you pay the listed price.
which is
$49.95.
per year.
Yep.
And if I...
No, it's cheaper second year. It's,
Okay.
it's
Discount.
discounted.
You
second
get a
year.
discount
30.
for continuing years if you don't let it expire. We offer you an early bird discount.
Okay, now if I've got the travel ad
You get a $10 discount off that.
per annum,
Yep.
so now it's $39 a year.
Yep.
Okay, so it's $39 a year
Yep.
if I've got the travel ad
Yep.
and the EO-Topo,
EO-Topo in
EO-Topo,
Yep.
I said you had license for Spain.
So
That's all right.
EO-Topo,
EO-Topo.
you buy one-time payment,
Yep.
but you get a 4-year license out of
You
it.
buy it once for the version.
Yeah.
So you buy the 24 version or the 23 version,
Yep.
and the app
How
will
much
allow
is
that to be run $49.99
Once.
Once.
We'll
Yep.
allow that to be run in the app for up to 4 years. So the 24 product will be still available till
On
27.
the
But
5th year, do I buy another one?
So
you
what
can buy
actually
another one
happens
every
is
year if you
every
want.
year we're creating a new map. Now the reason for this is we want all our new customers. Like if in 6 months'
Can I get me a
time
discount?
a guy comes along, oh my goodness, gee, give me back the hat.
I'm going to buy this. Oops. My wife's going to see this. Keep going,
yeah.
sorry, okay.
Yeah. So every year we're releasing new maps so that the new person is always getting the latest
Yes.
version of the maps. If you're an existing customer, you're not obliged to buy. We support what you bought for up to 4 years. And then we've got to support the old versions as well as the new version. So that is a lot of data and a lot of storage. So, and technology changes a lot in 4 years. So there comes a point. So we have done this though ever since the beginning in 2016. So there's a point that we were now happy to say we'll give you a 4-year support period for whichever edition you buy. It's up to you if you want to buy a newer version before the 4 years. And some people do.
People buy it every year.
Some
because
people-
they want the latest.
They want the latest.
They want the latest. They don't care how
I
much
get
it
it.
costs.
Yeah.
They just buy the latest.
Roads
Anyone
really
watching
do
it doesn't
change.
Get what you got.
Yeah.
I get it. So,
Yeah.
and I'm a very simple side.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Okay,
I did it simple. Good.
No, good. Okay, so now we touched on this before we started filming, and I wonder whether or not you're going to share a story or an example. But my question is going to be to you is, what is the least favourite thing you like about
Yeah.
doing what you do across your socials?
Across the socials. Oh, that's you.
On socials? Why only socials? Why not the whole business? I'm quite
Okay.
happy to talk about
I'm
that.
happy to, no, let's go to business.
Okay,
Let's go.
it's
Most
very
least favourite
simple.
thing. What is your least thing you don't like about it?
David and I are workaholics.
We work too hard.
So we actually never have a downtime. So if we go for a walk at the beach or we're on holiday, there's no such
Always
thing.
working.
We start
We're
talking
always
about
catching work. We're always doing updates.
But look, to be fair, and a lot of
So
other
you don't switch off. That's what you
a
don't.
lot of content creators will be like this. If you have that ability to do something that's entrepreneurial, you're probably like us. And the biggest advice I can give to anyone out there believing that this is the lifestyle that they want to lead is try and get that balance. You need to have a break. In our early years, we were working up to 3 a.m, 4 a.m, and I had babies and kids, and we were burning the candle. But as we've got more mature with the business, we realise how
I
important
don't know.
it was.
We're still working too damn hard when we're travelling. It's a look. I suppose one of the issues with that is that there's only Michelle and I that run it. And as you said before, she takes the phone calls. We publish the phone number. You know,
phone calls.
so there are a lot of
Not
there are
at
a
2
lot
a.m.
there are a lot of areas that need to be. You still got to do your bank statement, your GST remittance. You still got to run the business.
Yeah.
There's still a whole financial back end in the whole
let's
operation
articulate-
running.
Okay, so let's put that in a one sentence. The thing that you dislike most about your job,
Yeah.
this is conflicting actually.
Yeah.
What you do is because you love it so much because you're quite passionate.
Yeah, it's a
about it.
passion, yeah.
The thing that you dislike is that you don't switch off.
Correct.
Yep.
Because we know that it's unhealthy to not switch off. So we do sometimes get frustrated and therefore we lose the love for it. And sometimes we get a little bit grumpy or resentful, and
Yeah.
you don't want to get to that point when you love your product or you're trying hard. Sometimes we can get deflated and disappointed because we've put so much into it. And you get one bad comment on social
Or we don't
media
like
and it's like,
poor
oh,
reviews
it's so
or bad
disheartening.
social media, and you
they
go,
didn't understand
did we deserve
it.
that?
You know?
You
Yeah.
didn't deserve that comment about that poor. We won't worry about that. Michelle, so David here has told me that you're the social media partner of the business.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've recently learnt you guys are now doing podcasts. So you're on, what's it called, Spotify?
Spotify
Oh, yeah.
and all
And
podcast
all the
platforms.
Apple podcasts.
Okay, so you got podcasts,
Yep.
you got TikTok,
Yeah.
Yep.
you got Instagram,
Yep.
Yep.
you got Facebook,
Yep.
Yep.
you got YouTube.
Yep.
Have I missed one?
Nope.
Yeah, or
there anything
YouTube,
else?
you said,
You
yeah.
haven't got LinkedIn yet.
I have that.
Oh, professionally though.
Can you take me through your journey?
Yeah.
Because you haven't missed one.
Yeah, you have actually.
Oh, go.
The original social media for us in the year 2000 was the Explorers Forum, and that went off.
Okay.
We have
That's
still
live
got
now.
a
And your website, of course.
yeah, we've
of
still got registered. What is it? 89,000 users on that forum.
Are you doing anything with that database?
Yeah, when I send out a mail list, boom. So that's how we used to run an online shop. So we'd send the
SEO
newsletter and say,
marketing.
this is what's going on, this is what we've got
marketing.
available, boom. Yeah.
It's content. It's
You know, it'd be
content.
dangerous to have a glass of wine because I think I'm some sort of marketing guru. That's another story for another day.
Yep. So yeah,
what comes
the forum came first.
Our
What comes second?
website came
Website
first.
come first.
Yeah, website came first.
Second?
The second was Facebook.
Yep.
So we were straight onto that. And we had Facebook page that was in the era before groups.
Yep.
So we had the
And then where
Explorers
we go?
page, and that page still exists today.
Right.
But we've added to that, we've got the Explorers Traveller Community Group and branded pages for EO Topo, for the maps, that type of thing. So we just do a bit of product release on pages and community stuff on the groups.
So if that's
Okay, so
Facebook.
after that,
After Facebook, we got YouTube.
Yeah, maybe YouTube.
Yeah, we got
actually.
YouTube. Now, our actual
YouTube.
current YouTube
Yeah, we
got
got tubed.
butchered up because we had old version of what
Oh
YouTube
yeah, that's
had.
right. When we
you
set it
had
up, it was before. It was Google came out with this thing called Google Groups or Google Plus. It was Google Plus, and it gave us this YouTube channel as a special, and we published everything in there, and then all of a sudden, something changed and Google something happened, and the whole thing went poof.
we got locked out of it. We couldn't get
We
in.
couldn't get in. We couldn't do
so you
anything.
lost all your.
We lost everything, so we had to start
So we had
again.
to start a new
Did you have it on
channel.
the hard drive or anything, or the
We had all
We had the content.
media, so
And
we
the
put that
content,
back in, but we lost the actual.
We lost the audience. We lost
the subscribers.
So how long has your YouTube channel been up?
Oh,
I don't even know the year,
I
but it'd be
couldn't
around
remember.
about 2006,
Okay, so 2006.
is that
Now,
when
I should-
YouTube came
I
out?
should know this.
early on. Yeah,
I should know, but you guys should definitely know this.
maybe it's
How many
2010.
subscribers have you got?
I look at the growth and it just trickles along. On the YouTube channel,
I
is
don't
it
know, it's
only
not
about
huge.
2,000 or
But
something?
Instagram, 9,000, 7,000?
No, it's not that big either. It's only like
You guys
1,500.
are like even Stevens across everything.
Yeah, we
No,
had-
the,
However you subscribe,
we've got
yeah.
9,000 on our Facebook page,
Yeah, is
on
that
the
right?
original
Is that
Facebook
right? So
page.
9,000.
Yeah, and 89,000 on the forum.
89,000.
Yeah, so we cannot make that social media anywhere near as big as our website. Nowhere near as big. So the newsletter that we send, the problem is people don't want to receive emails anymore. So what you do is you
Let's
write
make
it
Your Honour.
and you share
We
it
had
back
that
onto
chat.
Facebook.
Yes,
Yep.
okay. All right. Who is the social media brains trust?
I don't know, it's brains.
Who's the content creator?
Oh, we both create content, but realistically,
Depends what you want to define
what's the
content as. So I am a prolific photographer. So I've got the GoPro, I've got the phone, and I've got we're hiking, and I'm filming him back on in his shoes, going. I'm going to make a reel out of this, and then I'm panning,
Yeah.
and I've got to film it in portrait and landscape.
You're the content creator.
Yeah, I'm constantly
Who edits
gathering.
your content?
Ugh. There's a lot that doesn't get edited. I
What do
just
you
don't
use?
have the
What
time.
platform do you use?
Well, I just recently have bought the Video Leap. Is it what it's called? The Video Leap app? It's like a $100 subscription, but it's really clever and it's got AI and all this. That has saved me a lot of time and it's quite funky, but it's got a lot of AI fast
What's
stuff
it
in it. Video Leap.
Video Leap.
Leap.
Yep. It's about $100, but I'm giving it a go. I have used Vixar, I've used CapCut, but I'm going back to using the in-app editors of YouTube. Not YouTube, sorry, Instagram. It's quite good. Once you know how to do it. The only biggest issue I'm finding is the difference between a personal and a business account. You get different access to music, and I'm a bit more restricted on the business account. So if you're creating the other ones, you can get the music and then you repitch it into your Instagram account. So
Okay.
there's some tricks.
Yeah, there is. Almost word association, so please don't sit there and go, oh, well, the first three that spring to mind, they don't have to. What are your first
don't.
three content creators that you like to follow?
So this is, unfortunately, I was going to warn you, we don't.
You don't have to, it's fine.
We don't follow
Okay.
any.
You don't.
I almost don't use social media.
We don't
my
personally
brain
use
is
it.
way too work. I'm way so work focused and so caught up in just managing all that we already do.
Yeah.
I'm not really.
It's okay.
And we don't
have time.
research for inspiration for trip planning. We don't research for fact information because the way we travel is we just wing it.
We'll go and
and
find
we're out there
for real.
researching. We just have to do everything, whether it's boring or good. We've got to be there. And we've had years of travelling, so we sort of know the
That must have
destinations
been
and what to
your upbringing
expect.
From a bush block.
Yeah.
See, I did listen.
Yeah, you
All
did.
right, all right, so some quick questions and word associations. And
Okay,
then
go.
And then there's one heavy question.
Yeah.
Favourite pub meal?
Has to be hot chips.
Hot chips.
Yeah, same. I like
Chips?
chips. Yeah.
Favourite camp meal?
Anything over a campfire.
Anything in a camp oven.
Fire oven?
Anything in a camp oven.
Anything.
Anything in a camp oven.
Favourite refreshment? Alcoholic?
Oh, it's got to be David's homemade gin and tonic.
I make gin. I'm a closet gin distiller at home as well. So I make gin, and I've made beer, and I've made all those things over years. But now it's gin. I'm thinking of doing some whiskey, but probably our gin would have to be first. I don't mind going to the pub and having a beer though.
Okay, so gin's your go-to and you're the same?
Yeah, love it.
Love it.
White spirits, good for you.
I thought red wine was good for you because it's
Well, red wine's good for you too, you know.
depends how much you drink. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
chocolate, where does it live? Michelle, in the fridge or the cupboard?
We argue on this. Definitely in the
Good
cupboard.
point.
Cupboard.
I would-
Loses its taste
I
in the
would
fridge.
say fridge, but I don't actually like chocolate.
He doesn't.
You really are a bit odder.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
that's
actually
right.
not the same at all.
You don't like chocolate?
I don't really.
I love chocolate.
I'll eat it if it's there as the only thing that I can eat as a snack thing, but I don't need it.
Word association, Australia,
The best.
the best.
Home.
Oh, nice.
I was going to say that. That was my second word.
Forward
Aww.
driving. So word association is supposed to be good.
I
Yeah.
know, but it's. I love it.
Yeah, I was about
Love.
to say fun.
Love.
Yeah,
Love.
fun.
Four-wheel driving, love.
Love.
Camping.
Love.
Oh, that was quick.
Yep.
All right. So, thanks for that. Got to know you a bit better. You're a scruncher or a folder?
Definitely a folder.
Depends whether I'm camping or not. Whether I've got to be. Whether I've got to be
I'm just trying to
roll.
last question.
What's it? Roll conscious. Don't use too much roll.
All right, I was just trying to find the last question. Here's a heavy, well, relatively heavy.
Yep.
And we'll ask for an elevator's
Yep.
closing pitch.
Yep.
It's the year 2030.
So that's 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
That's not very long.
Yep.
It's not.
No.
What does Explore Oz look like?
The number one app of choice for everybody
Yeah.
that wants to go out four-wheel driving, camping,
In
travelling.
Australia.
Yep.
We haven't really changed the mission statement. We haven't finished the job. So what will it look like in 2030? It'll be somewhere between here and what we classify as finished, which we still haven't really classified. But
Unfinished business we've got to get to that
What
goal.
is the mission statement?
It's to enthuse, inform and entertain. That's what were our 3 words for Explorers.
So good to meet you guys. Thank you so much. Michelle,
Thanks,
thank
Paul.
you.
Thanks so much for the opportunity.
No, thank you. Bye.
Don't know what to say. It's always like this, I know it. If I could only be some kind of poet. If I could
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. Hooroo for now.